So, I have a kind of complicated relationship with Korea. So my subscribers are fully aware, I've mentioned it many times on this channel, but I am half Korean. And growing up, I was very aware of my half Korean heritage. Both my parents are also half Korean. It's a complicated story. I was very aware of it. Like, I even have a picture of me wearing a hanbok when I was a kid, and I had this 100-day celebration birthday. It was ingrained in my identity at a young age because it's my history, it's my heritage. You know, the concept of being Korean has always kind of played an interesting role in my life. There was an interesting time in my life, I'd say roughly around the time when I was a teenager, and I pretty much did what all high school kids do. I tried really hard to cringishly make something into my identity, and for me, it was the whole being Korean thing. I was obsessed with being Korean. I asked my parents to teach me how to speak Korean more. I was better at reading and writing it. I learned the songs, I learned the traditions. Because in all my friend groups, I was usually the token Asian, and I actually really liked it. I liked having that one thing that set me apart, that made me unique. I remember this one time, it was really bad. It was at lunchtime in high school. I brought a Korean newspaper with me, and I sat down and read it, and I waited for my friends to come. I was a little early, and I was just reading it, even though I didn't understand everything I was reading. And then my friends would come in, they're like, "Hey, what is that you're reading?" And I'm like, "Oh, this was just a newspaper. I'm just trying to keep up with Korean, news." And they're like, "Oh, wow, can you actually read that?" And I was like, "Yeah, it says 설수약 세일." Like, what does that mean? Well, it means it's a political thing you wouldn't understand, and you know those North Koreans. And yeah, looking back, that was really cringy, but that was me. I was obsessed with being Korean, and it went so far to the point where I actually ended up living in Korea. Little context: I grew up in a Korean church. I know I don't talk much about faith, or let alone my faith, on the channel. Reason being because this channel is about geography. It's not about me. But I mean, I created this channel, so at some point I'm gonna have to somewhat be personally involved with it at some point. But anyway, yeah, so I grew up going to a Korean church. And right after I finished high school, I ended up going to this church retreat. And after the retreat was over, I was given this opportunity to teach English at a church high school. And my parents were against it. They didn't want me to stay. They wanted me to come back and go to university or whatever. But me, at the ever so wise age of 18, was like, "Mom and Dad, I'm an adult. I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna teach English. It's a great opportunity." And turns out the program was really bad. Long story short, they pretty much just used me and exploited me because I spoke English. But on top of that, there was a lot of other bad things that happened. But see, like, here's the thing. I'm not gonna get into all the crazy small little details because I don't like when people, exploit a sob story or like a trauma story so that they can get, like, for views or for sympathy points or whatever. Like, no, I don't play that way. I don't like it when people do that, and that's not me. That's not my character. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm not here to give you a sob story. However, I will tell you this. You're probably assuming this is gonna be a story about how I walked away from the faith. No, it's not. Even though right now I'm going to be a little candid about my spirituality, I still identify as Christian. I'm in a weird position right now where I'm still figuring out who I am and everything, and I'm still acknowledging that I'm a broken person. No, I have not been to church in a long time, but ultimately I cannot disavow it and I cannot let go of it. And even to this day, if you look at my Instagram, it still says sinner redeemed in Christ. I don't want to put a cheesy Bible verse. I don't want to put a cheesy Christian quote. I just want to make people know that I'm the broken sinner person. Jesus is the good person. That's it. And for some reason, I cannot take that down from my Instagram. And leaving the program taught me people will never be gods. That's a whole other topic. I'm not going to get into that. That's not the point of this story. Anyway, so that's that. So yeah, basically, long story short, I got really burned by Korea. The program was so bad that I actually had to escape it. They had security cameras. They were watching people, making sure they didn't run away. It was messed up. The principal had way too much dogmatic authority. It was crazy. I'm really glad I actually found out years later that he was brought down from his position and he was taken down. So I'm glad, but still, yeah, it was a really messed up time. So anyway, I ran away to my uncle's house and he bought me a flight ticket to the USA. I am forever in his debt. And that was the last time I went to Korea. From that moment on, Korea kind of died to me. I never wanted to go back. I didn't want to be Korean anymore. I didn't want to speak it. I didn't want to read it and write it. I didn't want to hang out around other Koreans in the USA. I didn't want to eat the Korean food. I didn't want anything to do with it. I was done. I didn't want to be Korean. I hated being Korean. And yeah, that sentiment stayed with me for about 16 years. And last year, my grandma, she calls us up, me and my mom. She says, "Hey, my birthday's coming up. I want you to come." And my grandma's getting older. You know, we know the time's kind of coming. In my mind, I'm just remembering the last time I was in Korea, all the stuff that happened. But then I realized, you know, back then I was young and I was part of a really messed up program that was trying to control everything. But I'm an adult now, you know, I have my own money, I can do things on my own time, and Korea's changed a lot in the last 16 years. So do I hold this bitterness over something that happened 16 years ago, or do I go back and return to the motherland? Yeah, I can let go. It's okay. Let's go to Korea. All right, I'm at LAX. Coffee. Let's go to Korea. All right, I'm gonna have to do a ritual before I go there. 아리랑 아리랑 아라라리오 아리랑 고개로 넘어간다. Okay, I'm ready. We made it. Look at this. That is so cool. The motherland. So say hi to my uncle and aunt. 나는 여기에 있었던 마지막 시간은 생각은 2006년이었어요. 2006년? Yeah. This is crazy. So Grandma's birthday was coming in a few days, which meant, until then, it was time to hang out with the cousins. Let it go! Let it go! Can't look back anymore!
King Sejong in front of Gyeongbokgung. You can't get more Korean than this.
What do you do? Shake tornado. For soju. Oh. Tradition. Ta-da. This is a good shot.
Okay, 건배. 건배.
Alright.
One bite. Woo!
So my cousins are insisting we do this photo booth thing. Alright, I chose my look. Ready? We're taking pictures.
You have to look there.
We have to look there, okay. So what are you can see these in Korea. What are they called?
They're called 장승.
장승.
Yeah.
기와. 기와.
초가집.
초가집.
초가 기와.
기와. 초가.
Kiwa.
They even have Jeju style architecture right here. You can see the stones. Tol Harabang. It's the stone, lava stone grandpas. They even have Jeju stuff here. The main reason I wanted to come here though was because of something that would happen in this little pavilion. A woman would come and perform one of my favorite styles of music, pansori. This I wanted to see. 아리라리랑 쓰리쓰리랑 하라리가 났네 아리랑 나라리가 났네. So today was going to be a very special day because for the first time out of all the times I've been to Korea, I was going to explore the country by myself in my own way.
마스크를 착용하세요.
So I have wanted to see this for so long. Last time I was in Korea, they didn't have this. The Lotte Tower. This thing is the tallest building in Korea. It looks so cool. I also decided to meet up with some of my subscribers that lived here. Some of them found me on the way. I treated them to dinner. Vincent here treated me to dinner. Don't think I forgot you, man. Thanks for showing up. And finally, Gyeongbokgung with my mom. And then a little special surprise dinner with the family. I'm not gonna lie, I've always wanted to do this. Finally, when we headed back, it was time to celebrate Chuseok, Korean Thanksgiving, with Grandma. That was actually good.
Good?
Yeah. Wow. Tomorrow was going to be Grandma's birthday, but there was one last thing I had to do. I had to see the place. It's so crazy. 16 years later, and I knew exactly how to get there. I knew exactly what train to take, what station to get off, and how to walk there from the station. I don't know why I did this. Maybe I just needed some kind of closure, but I just knew I had to go see it one last time. So this is kind of a personal trip for me. This is where 16 years ago I had a really bad experience with Korea. They still have that tuna building, I remember. I spent a night there because I was kind of a rebel. And I was just like, I'm just gonna play video games all night and crash over there. It's like a youth hostel. The Lotteria is still there, where they had the kimchi burger. They discontinued it. There's the stadium where they would make us play soccer every freaking Wednesday morning at like 4 o'clock in the morning. This is it. I found it. This is the place that pretty much ruined my life 16 years ago. That building right there. So this is it. This right here. It's still here. I'm afraid to go in because they have security cameras right there. They didn't used to have those. All these trees used to be very small saplings. Now they're fully grown. There was a parking lot back there, and there was a fence on that side that I escaped through. There was a loose board. And then I went all the way around the back parameters, all the way to this junkyard. And there's a little trap door that was square. I remember it, it's over there. I'm gonna see if it's still there. So I remember the wall with the square door was somewhere here. I guess they covered it up after 16 years, but it was somewhere over there. I crawled through, and then over the fence, I was free. It was a little weird seeing this place again. So many memories came back. I'll admit, even some of them were good. And although most of them were bad, I have to admit, this was a chapter of my life that really fortified me as a person. I quietly stepped away and never looked back. Okay, actually, I took a piss on their fence and then I left.
생일 축하합니다.
So I'm a fully grown man, but nonetheless, as one of the youngest people there, I still had to sit at the kiddie table. But that's okay. Respect your elders, and the food was good. It's still pretty crazy though. This whole experience was something I guess I needed. Everywhere I stepped, it was like something new and beautiful. It was like this whole experience was reawakening something inside of me. Suddenly I wanted to speak Korean more. I wanted to be Korean more. But it's like this whole time it was already inside of me. And at the end of the day, I was just glad to be experiencing the other half of my heritage. So my mom is an artist, and she wanted to give her a present. It was a drawing that she made of my grandmother from a photo when she was in her teenage years. But then the question came, what was I gonna give her? Well, there wasn't really much I could do except for one thing. Now, even though I had pushed aside the Korean identity for 16 years, I still remembered one thing. My dad, before he passed away, he taught me a pansori song. Pansori is one of the most traditional, famous types of music in Korea. It's an intense vocal ballad style type of singing. And I still remembered this song. It's called Setaryong, which means the Ballad of the Birds. So I figured I was probably gonna have to sing for my grandma. And she's never heard me sing. 새가 날아든다 왠가 짭새가 날아든다 새 중에는 봉황새의 만순문전의 풍령새 상격옥시 무인조 수리띠 저물새들이 농종하답에 짝을 지어 생끝이 날아든다 이산으로 가면 쑥꿀 젖산으로 가면 쑥꿀 운세 차오러 가면 울음 온다. So a few months after that, my grandmother passed away. And luckily my mom stayed and she was able to be there for her last moments. You know, honestly, I'm not only glad that I got to meet her, but also I have to thank her for the fact that if it wasn't for her, I probably never would have returned, and the Korean identity within me probably would have been very suppressed and rarely would have ever come out. I also have to thank my mom. After my dad passed away, I kind of had to take on the role of providing for my mom. You know, I admit, at first I didn't really know what to expect because like I had never just lived with my mom. I was like, I want to be a bachelor and have my own life with my own place and blah, blah, blah. Turns out she is the absolute best. She gets my humor. All my friends love her. All my friends call her mom. They don't even call her by her name. They call her mom. And she understands me better than anybody else. She's my number one. So pretty much everything I do in life is just to make sure that she's happy and comfortable. Like geography now is not my purpose in life. It's not I see geography now as more of like just a tool that I can use to provide her a life of being happy. One of the best things about geography now is that it has been able to provide me the ability to take her around the world and experience all these crazy adventures with her. She's never seen so many things and I get to be the one that shows her. And when she sees those things and she's happy, it makes me happy. So, yeah, I'm really glad that all this has happened. All right, I don't have anything else to say. That's it. I just wanted to share all this stuff with you. Hope you guys have a good one. Stay cool, stay tuned.
한국 비추린 것이 자랑스럽다.